team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with first time you realize America really messed you up, part 2. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
Oh, dang.
When I was dancing in Australia, I did a jump and landed on the outside of my right foot. I sprained it real bad. And they drove me to a private hospital and I was like panicking. But anyway, that's the one that was available to me at the time. Mm-hmm. And on my way into the lobby, I was, hobbling on my crutches. And they spotted me from the parking lot. The doctor came out to me before I even was in the building and went back into the hospital and told them that I was coming. In the waiting room, they came into the waiting room to examine my foot.
God,
and I never paid a penny for that shit.
So I can
ain't that so beautiful, bro? Isn't that so, to get that kind of service, but not only have that top tier service, but to not pay a dime. I know it comes out of your taxes, you pay it through your taxes, but to go out there, get what you needed, and not paid a dime for it. It's gorgeous.
I think like 200 of these, but I'll just talk about the first time I realized how fucked up the U.S. is, which was the first week that I got to Sweden, when my boyfriend's family told me that I need to make sure I get insured, and that I get insurance for everything I own, my laptop, my bike, my apartment, my whole body. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's so expensive. Like, I'm already super in debt with student loans, so no.
Yeah.
But I asked out of curiosity, just like how much it was going to cost. $100 a year to insure everything I have. For reference, like the average American person spends $456 a month just on health insurance. Just for healthcare. That doesn't include cars or home insurance. So.
Okay, so
that's crazy. Sweden, Sweden, come here. Not Sweden, come a little closer. Let me talk. $100 a year? What you mean $100 to insure everything that you want? What? I see. I don't even the average American healthcare stat threw me because I don't pay for healthcare. I'm living out here uninsured, taking risk every single day that something could happen to me. But I got to help $450. I can't throw in $450 a month for healthcare, bro. That's another bill. That's too big. But we got insurance on a car costs more than god dang $100 a month. Just for a car. Oh my! I'm upset. I'm upset about this. That's all we got. That's not all we got. That's crazy. We're gonna let it keep going. But it's Sweden. I might have to make a connection with y'all.
For home insurance.
Okay, so I'm not currently living abroad, but I did live in Australia for a few months. And one night while I was there, I got a little bit too crazy, and I ended up on public transportation without a phone, and I had to find my way back to my apartment. And I got lost, and while I got off the tram to get onto a different tram to take me home, a middle-aged gentleman came up to me, and I immediately went into attack mode. And I was, going to kill him. And he was like, no, I was just going to tell you which tram to take to get back to Preston.
You're wildin',
And that was when I realized that in Australia, I didn't need to be afraid. Granted, take precautions, but I didn't need to be afraid of every man. But in America, I still am.
Of every man, bro. I guess I don't know what it's like to be in the shoes of a woman in America, so I can't sit here and judge her for her fear of every man here. So But there is some of us guys that really would have just helped you out to help you out. They wouldn't have tried to attack you or anything. I'm sorry for what you've been through, but that wouldn't have tried to attack you. But like I said, I can't judge her for that fear. I don't know what she's been through in life and how many times she's been attacked before. That's crazy though. That's sad to hear.
Be afraid of every man, but in America, I still am.
Ooh, I've been waiting for this one. So at the time, I was living in Germany and I had gotten food poisoning after traveling back from a country. And I was so sick. I was not eating, like not taking anything. And it had been like 4 or 5 days. It was really bad.
Ew.
I was too afraid to go to the hospital. One, because I was afraid I couldn't translate. But two, like I just didn't want to deal with everything. But my friend said, no, we have to go. So
Yeah.
tell me why we didn't have to wait on an emergency line. I was in the emergency room looking around. I was like, where do I sign in? Like, where's the line? Where are all the people? And they're like, no, you can go right in and go sit down. We'll be right with you. And I literally walked straight into the office, like straight in. And while I was struggling to explain what was going on, they brought in 5 different doctors of
God
each different one.
dang.
And it only took them 5 minutes to come each time when they realized they couldn't help me. It was somebody else they needed. And I didn't have to pay anything on top of that.
I'm an American.
God dang. Shout out Germany, bro. They came in and did they thing for real. I've been food poisoned. It sucks. Food poisoning sucks. You can't eat, you can't drink, you can't do nothing. But after 5 days, yeah, you something wrong. You need to go to the hospital for sure. Worst I've had is maybe a day or two. No more than 2 days did food poisoning last. I can't imagine 5 days, bro. You should have been in the hospital on day 3 if you ask me. But shout out Germany, took care of her, bing bang boom, didn't pay a dime, easy money.
Living abroad in Thailand, we've been living here for a year now. So we literally moved here when the pandemic started. My husband had a business trip right before the country closed to Singapore. He came back from Singapore with a fever. So they transported him to a hospital. That hospital, however, didn't have the facilities for full-on quarantine, and so they transported him using an ambulance to another hospital where he was COVID tested and quarantined.
Okay.
Luckily, he tested negative, but he still spent 2 days in the hospital and was transported by ambulance. And so I was thinking the cost was going to be so expensive.
I swear to God.
The overall cost of it was less than $300. We're back in the States. I know
You'd
it
been
would have been
bankrupt.
thousands.
Yeah.
It's just incredible to me that healthcare is affordable.
If they had to do all that transporting and all that 2 days in the hospital, you'd have been bankrupt in America. You'd have been done for. You'd have been cooked, bro. That'd have been a wrap. And that's sad to say, but all that for under $300 is crazy. That's beautiful.
I'm LA and I moved to Singapore. And before coming here, I asked all my friends if I should bring anything like, a pepper spray just in case anything happens. And they were like, no, that's actually illegal. I don't think that they're allowed to have any kind of weapon. And I was like, what? We literally put them in our keychains as accessories. I was like, how do you defend yourself? They were like, from what? You don't have to. It's so safe. I was like, no way. So I Googled it, and no one is allowed to use greater force than necessary to defend themselves. What? The U.S. can't ban guns, but Singapore can ban pepper sprays?
So I didn't realize
I don't
this
know what
until
to
I moved
say.
abroad, but Americans have a very strange concept of freedom.
Talk to me.
When you're growing up, you're always told that America is such an amazing place, and it's the land of the free, home of the brave. But I keep hearing these criticisms from people like, oh yeah, but America has the most freedom. Wow, yeah, freedom. I mean, there may be a few exceptions or nuances, but in the UK, you're still free. That is the biggest lie that Americans are ever told, that there aren't other free places. I don't understand. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I feel like the concept is kind of destroying American democracy. How ironic. They need to kind of understand that they need to work on things to make themselves better and more free for their citizens.
Definitely do need to work on a lot of issues. America, there's a lot of great things about America. There's a lot of things I love about America, but there's also a lot of issues we need to be working on that, we can't just overlook. We cannot just with that church freedom. She sounded just like an American. Freedom. We got the most freedom. It's like a very patriotic America. America. But yeah, a lot of other countries in the world have basically the same freedoms. Like she said, there may be very few exceptions or nuances. A lot of other countries have the same freedoms and more in some other countries. More freedoms in certain ways, in different ways, I would say. What we got?
So, just for a little context, I live in Latvia now, but when this happened to me, I was working in the UK as a bartender. And my coworkers and I were talking about gun violence in the US, and they were kind of making jokes like, oh, I'm surprised you graduated and you didn't get shot first, and stuff like that. And I guess I was trying to defend it, so I was saying, it's not as bad as the news makes it seem. I only know one school that had an active shooter and had to go into lockdown. And, for me, I only had one gun threat in high school, and it was just a threat, and one when I was in elementary school. And then my coworkers kind of looked at me like, you what? And you think that's normal? And I was like, yeah, it's not even that bad.
So I was in.
I'll tell you what, I've been in, I don't think there's ever, no. In my school, going to school, I don't think there's ever been like a gun threat or anything. But I say once I graduated, I did hear like a bomb threat, but it was like a kid like pranking, like not serious. And but you have to take, when you hear those things, you have to take them seriously. So the school went into lockdown and everything, but nothing happened. But yeah, I guess we just we shrugged it off like it was a normal thing as well. I guess that's just our mindset over here. Yeah, we're almost numb to it, which is sad. Which is not normal. Oh my God, just continue the video.
Nada for a couple of weeks, and every single day between 12 and 2, they would always close down. Everything would just close down. And I was just like, what is going on? And they were like, well, we need to go home and have lunch with our family, just enjoy, just relax a little bit. And that was when I realized every other country out here really understands the value of spending time with your loved ones and just actually taking a break, except America. America just teaches us to work for labor instead of actually living. So don't procrastinate on your happiness, sis. Your worth is not in labor. It's a luxury. Do what you want to do and be happy. Period.
Oh, I've got a comment.
I 100% agree with that. Live your life the way you want to live it. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's got to deal with the consequences of your decisions. So, know what I'm saying? If you choose to work, and not have any life balance, then that's on you. If you choose to live, and not work, and be broke, that's on you. Like, live your life the way you want to live. And I know that America does put in that mindset, work, grind. Outwork everybody else, all of that. But at the end of the day, you got to decide, like, is that the path you want to choose? And if it is, cool. But if you don't want that path, just don't go down that path. You feel me? But that's crazy. Closing everything from 12 to 2, yeah, that's unheard of. I've never heard of anything like that in my life. So that's a lot different. For everybody to go home and have lunch with their families, that's a lot different.
Couple. So I'm from Los Angeles and now I live in Austria, and basically when I first started working here, they were like, you get 25 days vacation, Fridays off early, and if you're sick, don't come into work. And I was just like, I was floored, because in the US you only get 10 days vacation and like 5 sick days, and you don't get Fridays off early. You better work your ass until it's 9 p.m. On top of all that, all my friends here have like 2 masters, 3 PhDs, etc., because education here is actually free. Amazing. What an amazing concept. In addition, I have yet to see a large homeless community out in the open here in Austria, because the government actually offers some social support. A lot of social support. In LA, you have villages, streets, blocks full of homeless people because our government doesn't care about us. And here, people don't measure their worth off the car they drive.
Okay, so I live in New York.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, legit. if school was free, I definitely would have got a master's degree. 100%. I don't doubt it one bit. The only reason I didn't go past my bachelor's was because I didn't want to pay any more school loans. Like, I didn't want to have to take any more out and make my student loans even more. But if school was free, I didn't want to leave school. Like, I I enjoyed college so goddamn much. It was such a fun experience, and I loved every single moment of it. I did not want to leave. I was sad. I was sad when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. Uh, but yeah, I knew that was it because I wasn't taking out more student loans. So yeah, school is free. I definitely have a master's degree. Don't doubt it one bit. Shout out. Where did she say she was? I don't remember. Wherever it was is awesome. Was it Austria? Maybe. I don't know.
New York now, but I used to live in England, and one time I was out at this bar with my friends, and these two cops walked by. And one of my friends was like, oh, I wonder why there are cops out right now. And I looked at the cops and I got really confused. And I was like, those are cops? And my friends were like, yeah. And I was like, they don't have guns. And everyone was like, why would they have guns? They were like so aghast at that question. And I was realized in that moment and learned that guns, there are so few guns in the UK and it's such not an issue that like the everyday cop does not carry a gun. And I was just, there are houses in America that have seen more guns in them than a fresh vegetable. It blew my fucking mind. I think about it all the time.
Oh my God.
I hate guns so much. I hate guns so much.
I was living in Italy and my friend needed an ambulance. We weren't going to get an ambulance because of the cost. And then we learned that in Italy, it's free for ambulances. We were literally like, wow. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars for an ambulance.
That's insane.
That is crazy. A human life is in fact more valuable than profit here. It is so sad that we have accepted if you are in a vulnerable health situation, it will cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and many people go into medical debt because of this. Where are our priorities?
I swear to God, I completely agree with what she said. It is sad, bro. Like, that everything here is centered around profit. That everything here is centered around gaining money. Like, money over people's lives. Money over everything. That money over work-life balance. Money rules the U.S. It's all about the dollar, the almighty dollar. And I agree, that is sad. And it's sad that thousands for an ambulance is ridiculousness. Hundreds for an ambulance is ridiculous. That all these countries can send these ambulances out to their citizens for free. Know what I'm saying? Their citizens can get sick and not have to worry about going bankrupt, going to a hospital. Their citizens can be well taken care of. And I know, like I say free, I know it comes out of their taxes. And I know a lot of these places are more taxed than the U.S. because of these things, but they see where that money is going to, and they're not bankrupt from paying these taxes. And you know what I'm saying? That these taxes actually help provide them with so many services that we have to here pay an arm and a leg for. It's craziness. But that's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal out.